Right, hello. Um, Sorry I'm not getting these videos out very quickly. We've just had a lot of people at the house recently and we've been busy and it's really difficult to do videos at the minute, so apologies. I'm just going to get straight into this one. I've got about 5 or 6 decodes waiting to be done. I'm not sure if anybody's already done this decode or not yet, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're on the film Moonraker, James Bond, Moonraker, and we're going to look at yet another Charlie Kirk death reference in this film. This is actually this is pretty darn good, especially when you tie it in with all the other films we've been looking at. It is extremely good, actually. So what we've got here is we've got Bond, who is Roger Moore in this film, and his feminine, the feminine interest. They're zipping down this cable car line here. They are zip lining, if you like, just as we saw in the Emerson Drive video. We've got Erica Kirk zip lining, down down the line here. We've got Moonraker. We've got these two zip lining down, just as in Back to the Future, we got Doc zip lining down the line right before Marty's rebirth with the church, the temple with the 14 numerology, okay? The Charlie Kirk numbers. So, no doubt we've got another zip lining thing going on here. Previous to this scene, Bond has a tussle. The two cable cars are sitting up there, man on wire. Remember, Philippe Petit did his high wire act between the twin towers on 8/7, same day as Snake Eyes was released. Okay, so it's all important stuff. This man on wire stuff. Marty's going to catch that lightning bolt from the wire. Okay. Anyway, they're going to have a tussle here. We don't really need to see much of that. We just need to note that, Jaws, this reference to Jaws. Don't forget, I believe his way of dispatching people is to bite them in the neck with his jaws. Okay, so there's a neck reference. Okay. Anyway, they get away from him and they zip line away. Anyway, what ensues is one of the other henchmen with Jaws sets the cable car chasing these two super fast. They jump out the way and a crash ensues. Okay. Now, so Jaws is about to have his death, essentially, and rebirth in this scene. Okay. Notice the 7-Ups. Okay, here. There's a ton more 7-Up references throughout this whole thing. The 7-Up, if we just do something here, if we just go back to Snake Eyes, I'm just borrowing We Find's video on it, because he's got this in here. They flash these 7 boards during that scene in Snake Eyes where Mr. Kirk is about to get shot. Mr. Kirkland is about to get shot. Okay, here. Okay, so super important that those 7 boards are flashing up. 7s. 777 jackpot. Yeah, 777 jackpot. Again, a reference back to Vegas, gambling, lucky number 7, however you want to look at it. But anyway, here we go. So we've got this 7 reference tying back to Snake Eyes. And then this thing blasts through here. So this is essentially his death here. Okay. There's the people in the swimsuit, bikini type affair here on the side of the mountain. And what we see is we see Jaws, Richard Keel, inside this wheel one of the wheels from the cable car. Okay, this is one of the drive wheels. Now notice that this is, yes, this is a circle. So this is, again, think about the name Kirk. Actually, I could probably draw on here. So this is a circle. So think about the name Kirk, which is obviously can mean circle. Okay. So that's number one, the connection there. But notice notice these spokes form a V here. This V is like the V of the womb. Okay. And the circle as well is that porthole. The porthole. It's where you come out of the bay, so to speak. It's where you're born from. Yeah. So this reference to this circle again is the idea of being born. His head here is just starting to poke out. Yeah, that's crowning. Okay. So he's going to be reborn here. And again, you know, Richard Keel's birthday or death date. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, the 10th of September. Okay, death and resurrection. Right, the start of a cycle again. Remember the Fibonacci cycle. Yeah, take the Fibonacci sequence. Where was I at? Take the Fibonacci sequence and reduce it down to its cycle. And that cycle ends and begins on 9/1. 9 is the end, 1 is the beginning. Okay? So, super duper important stuff. Also, that 7-Up, I was just looking at the UP there. Actually, 1/1, you can get your 9/11 just looking at that. With like the legs of the U there and the P, kind of interesting. But you know, super duper interesting. Anyway, so we've got Roger Moore and him, and now what's famous about this scene? He's going to lift this wheel off, and he gets a little bit of help lifting the wheel off from Dolly. Okay. Okay. And so these two are going to meet for the first time and fall in love. This is like the white wedding right here. She's in the white dress. Notice she's got the blonde hair like Erica Kirk. I know that's a bit of a stretch for some people. And of course, this is the super famous Mandela effect here. Jaws smiles at her. She smiles back. You know, where are the braces? They're not there anymore. Were they ever there? Who knows? I'll tell you one thing, right? I reckon I'm slightly dyslexic. I can go and read something. I could read a passage or a number, and I'll see a different number, and I'll keep reading it wrong several times over. I'll walk away from the thing, come back and reread it, and I'll read it correctly that time. Yeah. So it is possible that, you know, certain people's brain function would allow for this to make sense, would place the braces in here. Okay. So it could well be something that is just brain related, the whole Mandela effect stuff. It could be something that has actually physically been changed. Maybe there were braces there at one point in time. Hell, they could have even shown this on the TV or in the cinema originally with braces, and then changed that out at a later date. I know people are yelling, well, people would have recorded it on VCR, yada yada yada. But I mean, how likely is that to surface this later on? You know, I mean, anyway. So there are different explanations for the Mandela effect. Needless to say, this is like one of the major Mandela effects, okay? And it ties back to this scene, the whole thing with braces, okay? And this Dolly character. And if you've watched this film, this is about everybody on Earth being killed off and then restarting the Earth, yeah? back to Genesis, okay, and back to eugenics and all this other stuff with this. So I don't know what else to say other than this is the white wedding right here, yeah? They take each other's hands and off they go. The white wedding, right? Now, where else do we see this white wedding reference? Yeah, we see it in this. Erica Kirk'S, I want to leave it on this spot, but if we can get to a thumbnail, maybe we can find a thumbnail with her in the wedding dress. Somewhere in here. Here's the Elvis, the little chapel, white chapel, Chapel O' Love, Back to the Future. They reference that as well in Back to the Future 2. Okay, and here she is. In that, you can just make that thumbnail out right here. Okay, so the wedding is referenced here. We want to note as well that actually and I just want to mention two things here, right? There is a Taylor Swift reference. Let's go back to this. So sorry this is all over the place, but there is a slight Taylor Swift reference here. Just listen to what is said right here.
Only my tailor's heart.
Hang on. Let me play that again. Okay, just listen.
Have you broken something?
Only my tailor's heart.
Now, if you made that out, she says, "Have you broken something?" And he says, "Only my tailor's heart." He's dusting off his suit. Okay. I want you just to note that this woman here that is playing, this is Holly Goodhead, right? That's the character's name in the film. If I could just get a little shot of her, I just want you to note that she actually looks a little bit like Taylor Swift. I mean, they're not miles apart on looks, these two people. If you get the right camera angle on the shot of them, they actually have very similar facial features, similar eyebrows. Yeah, note she's got her hand on his neck here. What else to say about it? They're going to kiss as well, right? So this idea of the white wedding. Let me just show you something. Let's see what I got up in number jumps here. This was when Taylor Swift announced Life of a Showgirl. Yeah, Life of a Showgirl. 29 days before Charlie Kirk's death. Yeah, 29 is the white wedding date. Okay, the big white wedding was Charles and Diana. 7/29. Yeah, note the 7 references as well. Yeah, because 7/1's all to do with the divine feminine. Okay. Now, okay, what else do I want to show you? So there's this Taylor reference here, the Taylor Swift reference. Also note that with Taylor Swift, who's she marrying? Travis Kelce. His number is 87. Yeah, the same day as Snake Eyes comes out on, right? If we look at the film actually here, if we actually go to Moonraker, we'll see one of the release dates in France of all places, which is actually quite interesting with my next decode. 10/10, October the 10th, yeah? Remember we did the Charlie Kirk $10 bill, Sata Square decode, 10/10. Okay, that zip line in that dollar bill, in that $10 bill, goes right through the neck of Hamilton. Okay, 10/10. Release date, release date of the film. One of the release dates of the film. Okay. So we've already been through. We've talked about Roger Moore. Here's something interesting with Roger Moore. I've got this in here. His death date, 5/23/2017, happened to be, through to Charlie Kirk's death, 3,033 days. What's even more interesting is it's 8 years, 111 days. So we have the 11/18 numerology, which is at the heart of the chart of Lorraine, if you've ever seen that chart of mine, you will know that 1118 actually forms, those two numbers coming together is what forms the White Wedding, which what forms the number 29 in Lucas numbers. This is highly interesting. Okay, I want to show you something else, right? Let me show you. This is Richard Keel's birthday. Okay, so this is Jaws, the guy in real life who's playing Jaws. This is his birthday, right? Notice the 139 references, yeah? Notice that we did the dollar bill, we did the Snake Eyes $1 bill silver certificate decode as well with this number on it. Note that that number also mirrored does this, yeah? If you mirror that number there, it makes pi again, yeah? Okay, actually, I don't know why I wrote it like that, but anyway, you get the idea. Pi, yeah, becomes, turn that around, 913, okay? This is super duper important because look what is right here, yeah? Pi. And also, look at this. If I include end date, we're going from 9 to 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10 here. Let's go back to this scene. What is he lifting off of his head here? Where he's being born. This is like into pi sections with these spokes, yeah? Yeah? It's cut into pies, yeah? This is pi. The big circle is pi. This is cut into pi sections, okay? And the number jump from his birthday, which is spelling out pi with the numbers, right? And it's double doing it as well because they've doubled down on the numerology, or well, at least whenever he was born, nature doubled down on his numerology here. 1939 as well. And we've got pi coming out here. He's coming out of pi in that scene, and you can change, including end date. You've got the night. You've got pi showing up again because don't forget, yeah, that mirrored is this, yeah, 19. Pi is 19. Okay, it's just absolutely mental. Let's get rid of that. Let's leave that up for a second. I don't know if I want to come back to that or not. Absolutely crazy. Hopefully you can understand what I'm saying there. Let's just drop back to, so this is Roger, like I was just saying, this is Roger Moore's death here. Now, there's another 523 thing that happened. We actually covered it a few years ago now on the channel. And it's this cable car crash. I don't know how the hell you say that. Well, I'm not even going to try. But this cable car crash happened on the 23rd of May, 2021. You might remember it. I believe there was a young boy that survived out of everybody that died. Deaths. Yeah? 14. One survivor. Look at the time. 12:22. I mean, you just can't write this stuff, right? But the date, yeah, that date is coinciding with Roger Moore's death date, yeah? We're 17, 4 years difference there. But if we put this cable car crash, yeah, because they're on the cable cars in this scene, yeah, this scene is all about the cable car, and we've got the tie-in with Roger Moore as well with this. So if we put that cable car crash in through to Charlie Kirk's death, look at this, 4 years, 110 days. Read that number backwards. 10/14, Charlie Kirk's birthday, right? Look at this number, 1571. Let's click it. 248 prime. Unbelievable, yeah? The completion of the Pluto cycle, 248. Super important, that number, okay? Bye bye Miss American Pie. Just happens to be 8 minutes 42 long, yeah? 8 minutes 42 long. Bye bye Miss American Pie. You can also do this. You can get 4111. Yeah, we did this is, again, what's so important about this with the White Wedding is back to Prince Charles, King Charles now, 1114 with that as well. So it's just, I mean, we're all over. I mean, it's just absolutely mental, you know. Oh yeah, Life of a Showgirl, yeah. Those people running out there in their bikinis in this scene. They're on the side of a mountain and they're just people. It just seems maybe they do that in let's just go back to the scene. But I thought this was just a little random because I don't, you know, I've never been up the side of a mountain wherever this is supposed to be set, somewhere in the Alps. But let's get back to this scene. Come on. But this her running out in a bikini, I don't know. Just seems a bit random, you know. It just seemed a bit random, the bikini flying out of there. Okay. And the showgirl here, she is a showgirl, yeah? Yeah, Life of a Showgirl. That being announced 29 days before Charlie Kirk's death. Unbelievable. I think I've covered most of it now. Hang on. What else have I got here? I might have a couple more number jumps. Let's do this one. This was Dolly. Now remember Dolly also. Now, you know, the Dolly right here. You know, and then Dolly in here. I mean, come on. The blonde hair. The blonde hair, the the cleavage there, Dolly, yeah, Dolly, come on. People be like, that is just way too much of a stretch, Dan. That's way too much of a stretch. But you know, whatever you want to do. So that her birthday was just interesting. It was 25/9/25. I don't really have anything off the top of my head for that. What else did I have in here? This was the release of the film. I think this is the UK release. Notice what we got here again. 14/111. Again, we got the numerology. In fact, if you unclick that, we've got the 14/110. Similar numerology to what's right here, but it's the same numerology. It just got one extra one in it. If we click this on though, look at this palindromic 52/25. Now remember, I keep going on about this. Let me just draw it for new people. 52 and 25 is to do with the cup of Christ. Okay. To cut a long story short, if you write out 52 in calculator, you notice what that forms. If we just bridge this little gap here, it forms a cup. Okay. And so that cup is the womb, right? It's the chalice. Yeah. Notice that Charlie Kirk always used to do the chalice symbolism with his hand. And Donald Trump does it as well, where they put their hands together and make the whole, the holiest of holies. Yeah. Notice she's called Holly. Holy. Yeah. Holly. The hole. Good head. Good head is the head that's popping out of that hole. Birth. Okay, you can look at the rude aspect of that as well, but also notice that this 25/52 as well. Look at this connection back with pi again. Let's put pi in. 25, 25, 29. Yeah, that 29 showing up again. If we just stick the E on the end, just to show you the other numbers that you're going to see. 1551's interesting, and I guess we could just stick this in as well. Oh, well, because we wanted 7 up. Okay, marginally interesting as well with the L and the 17. Kind of interesting stuff. But anyway, I think that's pretty much everything. I don't think I had anything major. Trying to think about anything else in here that I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, I did want to mention about her as well. Let's go to her. Look at her name, Lois. Again, what's her name's middle name is Lane. Kirk's middle name, and also look at her middle name. Okay, her middle name, or at least her mother's middle name, Kirkland. So her mother's got the Kirkland, and one of her brothers got the Kirkland in there. I would imagine it's one of her family names, maybe somewhere along the line. So that is, again, and I mean, that's not really a derivative of Childs, but it's fairly close. I think that's a different. That I looked it up. It was a derivative of child. Yeah. So this idea of being reborn again, the child being reborn. But it is kind of interesting that is almost an amalgamation of Childs and child. Trying to think what else we had with her. Was there anything else? I don't think so. I think I've done pretty much everything here that I wanted to do. I probably could have spent another I could spend for hours talking about just this scene. It's this bloody zip line thing again. The showgirl, we're looking at the showgirl right here, okay, and then we've got another showgirl coming up, Madonna. We'll be keeping our eyes open for the 22nd of October with Madonna, but the zip line, just absolutely crazy. Jaws, he cuts the zip line in that scene as well, okay. He bites right through it, which is kind of interesting. Earlier on in the scene, right here, right here, right here. Okay. So, yeah, I think I've done everything. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you on another one soon. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'm trying to get these videos out. Hopefully I'll get the Madonna one out. I've got a big Madonna one, and I've got another huge Charlie Kirk one to put out as well. It's probably as good as this one, at least. Okay, thanks for watching. All right, cheers, bye.